So I had some pretty difficult clients this week. I have to tell you that all of them were air signs. Every one of my clients in the past week, since this group met last, has been an air sign, with one fire sign in the whole group, who behaved exactly like an air sign because her moon is sitting in an air sign. And I looked at this and I thought, okay, why is it getting so airy around here? What is this influx? And my guide said, look at the commonalities and see what's happening in the minds of those who intended to be born in order to transform the world, to bring forth the energy of Uranus, which is a planet, just very by the way, before you think I'm being vulgar, onto the earth plane. And why is it taking so long? So when I say, Lord husband, what's going on? Why aren't things happening faster? And forgive us, we don't know what we do. He goes, still. So this scolding goes on, and I hear it on behalf of all of you. So I looked at the commonalities. And one of the most common things that I know for myself as an air sign, and that I see with air signs across the board, whether they're Aquarian, Gemini, or Libran, is that they all have a contract, an agreement to suffer in order to be present. They all have one common keyword called struggle, which explains why they are all born in a region like South Africa, because one of the keywords for this country is struggle. Now, when I look at this word, and I want you to just feel it for a minute, how do you feel when I say the word struggle? For everybody, there are different associations, different thoughts that go with it. Us air signs are very good at looking at everybody else's struggles and wanting to sort it out and fix it. And for those of you who are thinking, oh, I'm not an air sign, so she's not talking to me, get present. Of course I'm talking to you, because you are part of the mass consciousness that engages with the word struggle from a different perspective. And there are a variety of them. It is sitting there as part of our saboteur archetype. It's sitting there as part of our inner child archetype, our victim archetype, and most of all, our prostitute archetype that says, I bargain with the universe. I struggle in order to earn my place in it. I struggle in order to receive my rewards. If I don't struggle and I don't feel my accomplishment, then I have achieved nothing. How's that going down over here, Esa? Yeah, it makes sense. And in fact, it makes sense to everybody, right? Whether you're an air sign or not. So let's just work with this word struggle for a minute. When I look around, I see so many possibilities coming forth with it. Some people struggle on the earth plane just to survive, and some people have turned the word struggle into hero worship, and you've got a spectrum between the two. Now, in this country particularly, we have what we call struggle heroes, people that we are supposed to put on pedestals and worship because they struggled, they martyred, they sacrificed for our freedoms. There's just one little problem with this. We're still not free. So I don't know what they struggled for. Right? Yeah. I do not know what they were struggling for, or what we were all struggling for during apartheid, if we have paperwork but no actuality. And this is my biggest issue with struggle. Because struggle as a technical detail, as part of the paperwork, as part of the administration of a system, namely yours, is not actually coming up with the reward. It's not taking you anywhere, because struggle itself takes a great deal of energy investment to be maintained. And when everybody is maintaining their struggle, they are not maintaining themselves. I, the soul, has no concept of struggle. And of course, the universe always provides, right? The universe is providing. Lou walks in and we're having this discussion at the kitchen table while I'm trying to gulp down dinner, because you know how I struggle to find time to eat. Whole other struggle. Yeah, I found time for that. Anyway, here we are having this discussion, and Lou says something, and I say, this must be an agreement that you have with yourself or something to that effect. And the bottom line was what?
That the good guys don't always get rewarded.
Yes.
And bad guys get away with bad things.
Yeah, this was basically the conditioning he was giving me. That the good guys don't get rewarded, and the bad guys get away with it, and they are successful. We've had this discussion before in meditation. I can remember it now. And I have a difficulty with this because for me it is not a truth. That's not how I see the world. And in fact, I don't see the world in terms of just good guys and bad guys. I know there's a spectrum. And a long time ago in this group, my guide said, you and Zuma are one, and I nearly gagged myself to death. But I realized there, but for the grace of God, go I. And there, by the grace of God, go I. It is a long way in the universe for Zuma and I to be one, but the connection is there anyway. And one of the things that connects us is struggle. And then I said to Lou, imagine for a moment the pain, the profound pain that a soul must experience in order to see itself being so completely opposite to itself on the earth plane. Now just close your eyes for a minute and imagine what Trump's soul is doing right now. This is not just Trump's angels shaking their heads in the heavens going, but we told you not to do that. Trump's soul, his higher self, because even he comes from soul. I know, unbelievable as it is. Even he comes from soul. What do you imagine Trump's soul looks like right now? There's the possibility that it's sitting there and going, we're doing well. We are uniting nations across the globe against a common concept called tyranny. We are uniting nations across the globe for peace. It is very difficult for a soul Lou, are we struggling to keep your attention?
No.
Okay. Relax, we've got this. The universe says that to you on a daily basis, but you're not listening. Relax, we've got this. And we, not just I, we got this. It's a host. Where was I? Yes. Can you imagine what Trump's soul looks like? For an entire consciousness to be united against something must hurt that soul profoundly, unless that's its purpose. It's a bit like having a mother-in-law. You know mother-in-laws, where they create angst and anxiety. That's the stereotype of mother-in-law. And they force the couple either to come closer together or to tear themselves apart. There is always a third party in the universe that will stimulate your struggle and determine for you what kind of struggle it is if you allow it, if you decide to react to it. If you decide to use it, that's a whole other story. Then you are responding to it. But this is the element of struggle. And in this country, where people are struggling on a daily basis, they were struggling before apartheid, they were struggling during apartheid, they're struggling even more after it. Struggle is a construct, a concept, and a consciousness that we deal with every day. So even after it rains in Cape Town, we will still be in struggle mentality. We all need to shift this struggle mentality into a flow that is more prosperous and eventually more abundant. One of the things that has contributed to this struggle mentality is our perception that some people are more equal than others. So some people are worth fighting for and some people are not. Some issues are worth fighting for and some issues are not. The other thing that has made this struggle construct more embedded and entrenched in our consciousness is this apathy. And apathy is what we experienced at the beginning of today's meditation, where I said, everybody stand up and dance. You are alone in your space. The only person watching you dance really is me, because the Lord husband is busy with bigger and better things, and you cannot dance. You cannot follow a simple instruction without knowing how it's going to serve you. I do not know why you are so lazy. I do not know why you are so self-conscious. I do not know why you cannot just follow the guidance. Why do you struggle with it? We are shouting. Thank you. We are shouting. Dwalkul came around to meditation and he said, don't complicate it. He was here last week, right? He said, don't complicate it. Do as you're told. But you can't. You absolutely can't just do as you're told. Why? Because you know better. And when you know better, the universe agrees with you. And if what you know better is making your life better, and what you know better is uplifting you to the next realm of quality existence and livelihood and joy, then by all means don't follow the guidance. But if it's not, then you don't know better. You actually don't know. And everybody who doesn't know must say, I don't know. Because when you don't know, you don't know. And when you don't know, you'll learn. This is what we said on Tuesday, right? When you don't know, you will learn. But if you already know, and you are closing doors against learning more, then you get stuck in your struggle. And when you get stuck in your struggle, you take on other people's struggles. Because you become like a sardine in the run. You ever seen a sardine travel alone? Hell no. Seen a whale travel alone? Heavens, yes. Even dolphins will travel alone, despite the fact that they are social beings and love to live in a pod. But they will travel alone if they have to. There is a truth consciousness in all of the highly intelligent vibrational beings on this planet. And they do not bow down to struggle. An elephant will walk through the tree if it has to. That's what its sonar is saying. That's what its compass is saying. And as one of the most emotionally intelligent beings on the planet, it will remove the obstacles in its pathway by the sheer power of itself. It will use its mind. It will use its body. It will use its heart to shift whatever's in its way. It will not lie down and be apathetic. And this is truth consciousness. We talked for 2 years about becoming truth warriors, spiritual warriors in the world. And if you cannot get up and dance after 5 years of this group, then we have a massive communication problem. Oliver, who is new to this group and likes a little bit of fun, got up and shook his ass at me. Fabulous. Why? Because he can. It's that simple. He can. That's why. There's no reward in it, other than he gets his name said during the chat several times. Oh, and because he's a liver, he loves to live, you see? The people who love to live get up and dance, regardless of who is looking. And then, of course, while I was doing healing today, and I struggled through it because I was healing such a dense, over-congested energy, the song came on in my healing session that was playing in the background. And it is literally a song to Shiva, where the singer is saying to Shiva, and my Lord husband was translating for me. The singer is singing to Shiva to come and dance, that the music is playing for Shiva to dance. And he is singing. He's saying, Lord, in our sorrows, we invite you to dance. It makes no sense to the human mind that in our sorrows, we ask you to dance. In our despair, in our pain, we invite you to dance as if there is a celebration. And this is a complete contradiction for the human mind. Who invites you to dance when there is great pain in the world? And yet with Shiv, that's exactly what we do. Because we know that when he dances, everything shifts. The universal consciousness becomes more balanced. When he lifts one leg off the planet, everything starts to move. When he puts that foot down, everything gets stable again. But more importantly, when he starts to dance, there is movement. And movement is key to change. Movement is key to shift the struggle. It's key to shift the apathy. It's key to revitalizing and rebirthing and renewing the energy within which you are stuck. This is the purpose of movement. But movement can't just be I lift one foot or the other. When Shiv lifts his foot, the universal intelligence responds because that is what he is. When you shift from one foot to the other as if you're dithering between this brain and that, nothing moves. The quicksand just gets deeper. So you have to learn to dance. And to dance, you have to listen to your own music. We've done a meditation about that. Listening to the sound of myself, the pace of myself, the rhythm of my being, so that I get into movement with my own flow. What do you struggle against? You are not swimming upriver like the salmon or the trout. You are not a fish, out of water moreover. You are not a duck who needs to get everything going in a flow. You are a reasoning, thinking, feeling soul being in a body. You are not stuck on a flight suspended in midair, dependent on a machine to give you oxygen. You are here. Here on the earth plane, where every step you take is supported by the earth itself. And when you choose to dance, gravity works on your whole body. But if you cannot get up with yourself, alone, in your own space, how will you do it for the mass consciousness? How? Maybe you won't ever do it for the mass consciousness. Maybe the generosity of your spirit extends only so far as your own auric field. And that too creates struggle. When we tell ourselves lies about who we are, and we live those lies inadvertently from our unconscious and subconscious selves, while faking it on the outside, we create struggle, because then we must struggle against our untruths. And when we create untruths as if they are truths, we are faking it inside out, which deepens the struggle into a profound narcissistic bullying behavior called Trump. How do you think Trump came into being, if not with 70 years of being an idiot? This is how you do it. He is a masterful example of who not to be and how you get where he is. And there are so many examples of that. So many examples of people creating struggle for others and against others. And whether we pick up on that struggle as a way of being united, or we pick up on that struggle as a way of isolating ourselves with our fears and into struggling only for ourselves, is up to us. It's up to you. My Lord Husband dances for everything, for everyone, regardless, unconditionally, constantly. So in your sorrow, he dances. In your joy, he stays still and quiet, maintains the stability of things so that you may celebrate yourself fully. And in all things, he keeps one eye open on everything. Nothing escapes him. This is the nature of the universal intelligence. This is what it is doing in every moment of every day for you. So I do not want to lecture you about what you are doing for it, but I do want to know, what are you doing for yourself? And who are you being for yourself? You come here for yourself. And you come here for everybody else. Everybody else in the group is part of your struggle. They have come to support you and witness you and observe you and encourage you and even hinder you from time to time. They have come to challenge you. You are not in this group by accident. I say this over and over and over again. Just believe it already. We do not need to struggle to the next level and the next level and the next level of self. That already exists. All we need to do is dance. And I say this at several meditations in the year. And then I find that I am still living with disbelief. And the only person who dances when I ask is Lou in the room. Lou is always very eager to dance, despite his ridiculous contract with the universe. I'm picking on you today. Again. He's so useful. He sits here to the right of me and I can just pick on him. When in doubt, I go left and I look at Charmaine. But when I want to pick on somebody, I go right. And there's Lou. So we don't have to struggle. We know this. We tell ourselves this. And yet we complicate things in our minds. We create stuckness. We take on other people's struggles and their stuckness. We want to rescue people. We want to feel needed. We want to feel useful. We want to feel on purpose. And then in the midst of all of that, we have entitlement. It will interest you to know that the client who said to me, I want what? More than a miracle? And I said, hell no. No such thing exists. A miracle is a miracle is a miracle. Shut up and receive it. Has found his job. He's found exactly what he needed. He received all the support he required. And now he's happy. And then he sent me a message to say, I found a job. Thanks for nothing. And I thought, oh, okay. That's all right. Just because you didn't see me do it, just because you didn't hear me do it, just because I didn't get into your self-pitying game, doesn't mean I did nothing. But because you did not see it, it doesn't exist. And there you are in your struggle. Because if I can't see it, I don't know it. And if I don't understand it, I cannot accept it. Struggle. We struggle against everything. And then we have the cheek to say, faith, we must practice faith. And my Lord husband does not need your faith. He knows how to dance. Go struggle with faith in yourself. Go struggle with faith in the people in your life. Go struggle with your faith in practicing what I preach. Practicing what you preach. Practicing what you're reading. Practicing what you're learning. Go and struggle with your faith in all of that. Don't struggle with your faith in the universal intelligence. It is not required. The universal intelligence works for you anyways. Regardless, unconditionally. But we like to struggle. Struggle says I'm doing something. I'm not inadequate. I'm not sitting on the couch doing nothing. I am struggling. And because I am struggling, there is accomplishment. If it's too easy, it's not accomplishment. If it's too quick, I didn't really do anything. I hear people saying ridiculous things like, we'll throw money at the problem. So I listened to this. And there was a stage in my life when somebody said that I would, get irritated. But now I look at it and I think, isn't it nice that you have this energy called money that comes from work, that comes from energy invested, that you can throw at the problem to make it go away? Why are you not seeing the blessing of that? Why are you irritated? Why are you frustrated? Why are you, will throw money at the problem? As if the problem itself is beneath your notice. And yet, the problem is there because you are engaging with struggle. You can throw money at it all you like, but until you have engaged with it, it's not going away. Because you like the struggle. How much you like the struggle will determine how much of it you have. So some people are walking problems. They fall up the stairs. They stumble on themselves everywhere they go. Yesterday's client said, I don't know why I'm having so many accidents. All the time. Everything I do, I'm going with an accident. And I said, it is a lack of awareness. Let's just sit quietly for a moment and let me set you straight on a few things. And before I could start to talk, she said, oh, I see your Nataraja. I worship Ganesha. And I packed up laughing. I just packed up laughing. So I said, do you know that the elephant god represents the removal of obstacles? What is your faith that you are constantly bumping into obstacles? What is going on here? Isn't there a contradiction? Why is your struggle more important than your faith now? You will see in your own life where your struggle is more important than your faith. If your struggle is coming around and coming around and coming around in that repetitive cycle that we talked about already, it is stronger than your faith in yourself. It is stronger than your faith in anything else, including the universe, because you are the master of your universe. And if you want to bring it into balance, dance. You have to get up and dance. You cannot sit there pretending that the universe is not talking to you. If you sit there and like Fatima, you go, no thanks, as if it was optional. Really? Did I say, please can you consider? No. I said, stand up and dance. I didn't say, think about it and let me know. I didn't say, take it under due consideration. I didn't say, would you like to? I was very clear. We are doing a rain dance. Get up and dance. Get on your feet and get grounded now. Not next week. Not when the mood takes you. Now. Do you honestly think the universe is going to wait until the mood takes you? The universe waits for no one. It can't. It is a constant flow. And it doesn't stand around at the bus stop. So when you are struggling, you are standing around at the bus stop, waiting for your ship to come in. And therein lies part of the problem. Who stands at a bus stop waiting for their ship to come in? Seriously? Shouldn't you be at a harbor? You're waiting in the wrong place for the wrong vehicle. More to the point, why are you waiting when you could be dancing? We create struggle in so many ways, really. And we congest ourselves with it until we seriously are embedded and entrenched in it, and we have a contract with it. One might say in this country, we are addicted to our struggles. We have to struggle for everything, against something. Home affairs is a struggle. Call centers are a struggle. Politics is a struggle. Government is a struggle. Corruption is a struggle. We can all get thoroughly depressed making a list of what we are struggling against and what we are struggling for. But if you brought it all down to one thing, one understanding of what the struggle is all about inside of you, then you might come up with an agreement like Lou has, that the good guys get nowhere. The last time Lou said this in a meditation room, I said, Lou, don't stop that from making you or letting you be a good guy. We like the good guy here. We appreciate him. We love him. Go be a good guy anyway. In our book, the good guys don't finish last. Do you remember? Verbatim, right? Yeah, we remember. When good guys finish last, you're sitting on the wrong value system. Now you're thinking along Trump's terms. So we need an end to the struggle. We are a democracy. Spiritual beings don't shift in those circles. They don't work with whether or not we are a democracy. As multidimensional beings, we are not put to the vote. We are a oneness consciousness. And souls vibrate at different frequencies of the spectrum, regardless of what all of the other beings are doing, for the highest good of all parties concerned. It is what you may think of as being a spiritual democracy, where every energy vibration works for everything and everyone else. There is not one single light in the universe that is turned away from any other light. So recently we did a meditation in one of the groups where we poked pins onto a polystyrene white ball for all of the lives, all of the moments that you have lived, and we put angels on top of all of the pins. Do you remember that? Yeah? And that meditation was a way of moving past the struggle. Why did we use pins in the polystyrene ball? Seriously? Because we need things to penetrate through our dim consciousness, because we resist things, which is part of struggle, because we question everything with a lack of faith, which is part of the struggle, and because we need to get things hammered in, which is part of the struggle. This is why we use pins, penetrative, thin enough to get through that polystyrene ball and long enough to stick out on either end. This is a pin. I don't know what kind of pin you were using. What was that? A safety pin? That doesn't work. It just clutters things up. Really, it was a straight pin. See how you complicated things and used a safety pin instead? Who's the clever chap? I don't know. Anyway. When we complicate things, we create struggle. If you don't know, wait until you do know. Wait until you get to know. Wait until somebody tells you. Because whatever it is you don't know, the universe knows. Your guardian angel knows. Your guides know. If you live with a dog, your dog knows. Okay, if you live with a cat, even your cat will know. Way ahead of you. So, if you don't know, wait. But if the universe says, move, move. Don't wait on that. When your gut feeling says step out the way, step out the way. It isn't going to say that for next week. Your gut instinct works in the now moment. Don't believe me. Do you know how many people are lying in hospitals because they are part of an accident, and they'll tell you, you know, I thought or had a feeling, and then this happened. What happened? I didn't follow the feeling, so I got caught up in whatever was happening next to me. And of course, it was supposed to be next to me, but I didn't move. So then it happened to me. And then as many people say, thank God I stepped back. Or, thank God I got in the car. Or, thank God I rushed across the road. Thank God, because in a split second, I moved. And something changed irrevocably. When we are stuck, it feels like nothing is changing. And nothing is changing. Not with you anyway. The rest of the universe, yes. You, nah, not you. Why? You're struggling. You're maintaining your struggle. You're being happy with it. We'll leave you there. And if you are peaceful there, good. If you are not peaceful there, good. The universe is providing more struggle to keep you there. That's how it works. And if I'm sounding sarcastic, it's because I am. I am so tired today of saying to people, just do it. And when you've done it, don't judge it. It might be good. It might be bad. From what you can see. You don't know where it's gone. You don't know what it's doing elsewhere. When I started the center 16 years ago in July, my guides started by training me to just do it. I would raise my eyebrows. I would fight. I would go, what? Really? Now? And then just do it anyway. And usually, the majority of the time, it turned out pretty okay. I turned out pretty okay. And then they said, make it look easy. The Nike symbols, right? You all know. That's what I've been doing. I've been living Nike. Why Nike? Because Nike represents all of these sportsmen and women who are disciplined, committed, practicing, training. Yes, they get paid a lot. But why? Because they're disciplined. They're practicing. They're training. They're working at mastering their art. They're working at mastering their bodies. So we used Nike taglines. Just do it. Make it look easy. Make it look so easy nobody knows it takes great effort. In fact, the more effortless you are in the universe, the greater the universal abundance that flows to you. This is the law of least effort. Make it look easy. The more effortless you are in summoning and working with the universal intelligence, the less work there is for the universe itself. And then, victory before the finish line. As we all know, there is no finish line in the spiritual pathway. There is no finish line in the ascension model. There is no finish line when I am stretching my energy to the spire of Mount St. Michael. Because the energy of spirit in returning to source is aspirational. You rise, it rises. You rise, it rises. It's an eternal dance. There is no finish line. So if you want to experience yourself fully, if you want to experience your accomplishments, you want to experience rising above the struggle, it's victory before you get to the finish line. The finish line appears because you are experiencing victory, not because you're in a race against something or someone else. Spirituality is a bit like golf. You keep giving it your best shot. You keep working against your own previous highest score or lowest score, however that works, and you keep improving on yourself. So the person you play the game with and for and against as your opponent is yourself. The only place you need to struggle, if you have to struggle, and you must cling to that word, is within yourself, with your shadow self. Oh, that reminds me. You see, I say the word. We went to see this movie, Padmavat. Is it still Padmavati or Padmavat? Padmavat, which is actually a very beautiful poem. And I was so interested to see this movie because they made the light self and the shadow self of the same being in such extremes. The clothing was awful. No, the clothing was awesome. The music was awful. And the scenery, oh, we must go to these temples. Just brilliant. But the poem is about one being confronting itself all the way from its darkest bestial self through to its highest possible human self as a man with ethics and honor. And of course the treasure is the woman, which really goes against the grain for me, but I understood it as a metaphor. Here's the woman as the treasure. So you have to see the movie to figure out who wins and why. But it was a brilliant movie to watch if you take it from the perspective of a man's struggle with himself. Two sides of the coin, the light and the shadow. And you see in that struggle how they actually complement each other, how they bring out the best in each other and the worst in each other. So it's well worth the reading of subtitles. And if you are going to struggle, then struggle in your own poem. Make it beautiful. Give it a pace. Give it a rhythm. Give it color. Give it flamboyant words that express who you are. Make it a poem of your own. But don't be struggling with the outside universe and struggling with your indebtedness and struggling with your poverty consciousness and struggling to rescue other people and struggling with all of those things that you really have no control over. And if you don't believe that by now, there's 5 years of meditation wasted. I have no control. Actually, I have so little control, I can't even get up and dance when I'm told to. This is how little control I have. No? I can't get up and dance when the music plays. and I feel like dancing because suddenly everything around me is an influence and I stop myself from dancing, I keep sitting. This is how much control we have in the universe. Now, don't think I'm not talking to you. I heard that. The fact is that I am talking to you. When you want to get up and do something, or say something, or be something, and your awareness suddenly stretches to your environment, and you stop yourself, then that's you not getting up and dancing to the music that is calling to you to dance. That's you. Do not excuse yourself from this conversation. I am talking to you. Now sit and be quiet so I can finish. Thank you. We have some very feisty souls in this group. Never mind the rest of the network. It might interest you to know that all of the souls in the network got up and danced. It is only the human bodies that take exception to doing something that may or may not be humiliating for them, that they may or may not be good at, that they may or may not know how to do. And these are all elements of your struggle because you have created these criteria and conditions for your existence, for your living abilities. None of those criteria were there when you were born. You have bought into them. So let us take a deep breath in and get grounded once more. And let's see if we can get through meditation without struggling.